Hey, I'm Jess Hugo, personal trainer and nutritionist, and I am here to show you that life is messy, but we're doing it anyway. Welcome to Doing It Anyway, the podcast for building the life that you want without burning out. Let's get into it. I was on my hot girl walk this morning and I was thinking, if you came to me today and said, Jess, I want to lose 5 kilos before summer, what do I actually do? What would I say to you? Because I don't want to say the Instagram version. I don't want to say eat less, move more. I don't want to just give basic, boring shit advice. I actually was really thinking, what's the actual conversation we'd have if we were just sitting down and having a coffee, which I love that. I love that energy. Like, honestly, can we move consult calls to having a little coffee? Like, I don't know, because I think there's so much information online now where we're just so paralyzed and then we get in our head about it. Like, one person says, don't track. One person will say, eat intuitively. Another saying, oh, but you need to cut carbs. Another saying it's your hormones. And then you're kind of left wondering what the hell you're actually supposed to do. So I'm actually going to walk you through like exactly what you should do, are going to do, which you can implement today. And this is like genuinely like we're on a hot girl walk, we're having a coffee, we're sitting down, we're mapping it out, because I know you want to lose 5 kilos by November, right before summer. Perfect timing. Like the very end of November, you're going to be 5 kilos down. Like, let's go. This is a 12-week kind of lock-in. This gives you like a month to like mentally prepare, if you will. Before we start, like first things first, actually, I think September, perfect time to start. My challenge actually starts September 7th. And if you have been living under a rock, we're doing a full photo shoot experience. Photo shoot ready. We're going to do a 12-week challenge from September 7th. The photo shoot is November 28th. Freaking summer starts December 1st. Perfect timing to work towards losing those 5 kilos. If you like, this is going to be custom, right? So if you have a really specific goal in mind of like, I want to lose 10 kilos, I have a bit more to lose, all of the things, like we can definitely work towards that. It's going to be custom to every single one of you, but this is the thing, right? We're going to be doing it right before summer. We're going to have all these cute photos to post on Instagram. There's literally nothing more paralyzing I've found than, I'm so used to it now, but I have so many friends that are like this, where you overthink every single thing that you're going to post on Instagram. You're not really sure, like, who's going to say what? Are they going to zoom in? Are they going to look at this? Oh, my back fat here, like all of these things, right? We tell ourselves all these stories that really no one's looking at, right? But the thing for me is like, imagine actually being able to build this momentum and go into this 12 weeks really fucking ready to go. And then having the end date in mind, knowing that you're actively working towards something, actually being like, okay, I am going to achieve this by this date because I have this photo shoot to represent the day, to take photos of the day. And that's like so fucking cool. Imagine being in a space where you actually learn how to track your food, which is like, sometimes it's like, well, why would you want to learn that, right? So that you can eat out in summer. Like, I definitely am the type of girl that eats out more in summer. I don't know about you girlies, but like, it's hot, we're going out more, we're hanging out with people more, we're socializing, especially going into December. Imagine doing all the hard work before you get super busy with Christmas parties and things, and being able to actually learn how to eat intuitively when out and make good decisions when you're eating out at different restaurants and places, and knowing that even though you've had the creamy pasta out, you're not going to be 10 kilos up. You know, I know 10 kilos is dramatic, but like, you're not going to be a kilo up next week just because you had pasta out and things like that. I feel like it's so cool knowing how to track your food, knowing how to eat intuitively, and really create this routine before summer. And this photo shoot is the perfect opportunity because there's nothing cooler than having an experience at the end, like we're working towards something. So I want to start there. I'm going to leave the details for you below, but my DMs are open. Let's have a chat. If you're one of the girlies that is after a payment plan, it is closing this week for payment plans. So I would suggest, as soon as you're listening to this, jump into my DMs. Obviously, September 7th is still a month away. So I really want you to think right now, I'm just going to message her and get the fucking message out right now, because I've really noticed that the longer we wait on things, the more we contemplate, we get in our head, we question if it's worth it. We then kind of talk ourselves out of it. So if I have said something in the last couple minutes that has like absolutely lit you up and you're like, I actually want to know more about this, I want to potentially do this, I would love to have the conversation. Like, I would actually love to have the conversation with you because I would love to see you there. I think it would be such a vibe. Don't be held back by getting in your head, because I've done that same shit before and you will regret it. We always regret the things we don't do. So I reckon full send it right now. Pause the episode, send me a DM, click the link below, and we can have a chat. Now let's get into it. First things first, I would actually just download MyFitnessPal right now, or dust her off. If she's been sitting in your phone for ages and she's gone undownloaded, dust her off. clicker open. And I know you're probably rolling your eyes right now. Jess, I don't want to track. I don't want to go into MyFitnessPal. I find it obsessive. I find it toxic. Insert the things. Cool. But can I ask you something? How many calories did you actually eat yesterday? Like actually, not a guess, not a round, not ish, like the actual number. Because if you can't answer that, we are literally just guessing. And when we're guessing weight loss results. We're wasting time guessing, we're wasting time not seeing the results we're after. And truly, you are going to be stuck in the same place for months and months and months with guessing. One thing that truly drives me insane is when we've been given this idea, and again, I blame like socials being so chill about stuff and giving such conflicting advice, and people definitely be like, I lost 20 kilos and I just did it by eating less and moving more. Like that's such bullshit. From someone that has lost 20 kilos, it's not just about that. There are so many moving pieces between the mindset piece, between feeling like there is a bit of a sacrifice element of like, I'm missing out a little bit. Like there's so many moving pieces. Whereas now I feel like social media has just made everyone actually convinced that you don't have to sacrifice anything. And that's truly not the case. So I really want to talk about it because it drives me insane. You actually cannot be able to just eyeball your nutrition if you don't have nutrition literacy. Nutrition literacy means that you have actually learnt a skill. You're not supposed to be able to just look at a bowl of choc chips and know how many calories it is if you've never looked into it before. How are you supposed to know? I think it's very, very drastic between who knows and who doesn't know, right? Because we're not just born knowing what 30 grams of peanut butter looks like. If I just told you right now how many calories is 30 grams of peanut butter, you're probably thinking like, oh, maybe like 70 to 100. Like you wouldn't actually genuinely know what the macro breakdown was. Like it's actually the same as like what a bit of an uneducated take for me is like people say eggs are high protein, and I'm like, eggs are a fat. Yes, they have a bit of protein in there, but they're actually a fat macro. Or like people saying maybe like what's another one? Well, even the same with like peanut butters and nut butters and things. People say that's a protein. I'm like, it's a fat. Yes, there's protein, but it's a fat. Nuts are a fat. They're not a protein source. So if you're sitting here right now thinking like, oh shit, that's me, like I thought eggs were a protein source, you're not wrong for that. But it really just shows the difference between like who has a skill and who doesn't. And it's something you can learn, absolutely. But if you're sitting here like, oh fuck, I thought egg was a protein, then you obviously don't right now have the skills to be eyeballing your nutrition to see results, which is a great realization to have, because you're like, oh okay, maybe I actually just do need to learn how to track, because nobody knows. We didn't just wake up and be born with like knowing how much rice is one serve. We don't realize a little handful of choc chips is actually closer to 300 and 400 calories, which can be a whole meal sometimes until you've actually tracked it. And I actually think it's almost like expecting yourself to be able to speak like fluent Spanish without ever learning the language. You actually have to learn it first. Tracking is the learning phase and it's not forever. I now eyeball all of my nutrition. I very rarely track something unless it's a very new food to me, but I'm very much stuck in my ways. I'm a picky eater, so I'm very stuck in my ways and eat the same things on rotation. But I can eyeball and know like, oh, this many like slices, like I have the block of cheese, right? This many slices of cheese is about 30 grams, is about 120-ish calories, things like that. With my brand of cheese that I always buy, like it's if I buy something new and different, or something new comes to the market, that I'll read it. Like the Bomberry craze, the Bomberry craze. Like I was like, oh, how many calories is it? I'm just interested, and I'm like reading it, and it's saying like 3 to 5 is like 90 calories, and like 3 Bomberries. I'm like, that is crazy. But you wouldn't know that unless you read the label. I think realistically people would think, oh, raspberries are like a low calorie berry fruit, like, and chocolate like is not that bad, which it's like there's no good or bad, right? But you're like, oh, it's not that bad. It will probably be like, 90 calories for like 8 of them. And I'm like, well, it's actually like almost 200 calories for 8 of them, or even like more. So it's like really being across that. But you have to learn first. It's a phase. Oh my god, why am I stuffing up phase? That's my problem. It's a phase and it's not forever. It's really learning, and then you get to live with being able to make decisions without worrying about it. I actually just came back from the wedding I needed to stop saying the wedding. I kept saying the wedding because I've been talking about it with like everyone for so long. And then I was talking to someone the other day and she's like, did you get married? And I was like, sorry. No, the wedding that I attended, it was like 2 hours from home. So we traveled there, stayed there, all of the things. So I knew I wouldn't be home for the weekend. So what I actually did to set up for success in that week was, okay, I'm going to make sure that I do all my sessions before even Friday. I don't even want to do it on Friday because we're traveling up Friday. So I trained like Monday to Thursday. I'm going to make sure that I take some food with me because I knew it was kind of like giving middle of nowhere vibes. If you're like from Sydney or you're familiar, it was in the Hunter. So the Hunter is very much wedding venues and not like really like food and stuff. There was stuff there, but it was a bit more like you had to go out of your way to get stuff. And I knew that going in. So I was like, I don't want to be in a situation where the closest thing and the only thing open is like McDonald's. Like I want to actually have a couple of options available. But in saying that, I didn't eat perfect. I bought a pizza from Domino's and garlic bread and I ate that. I didn't track it and I didn't care. The next day I had some leftover pizza, so I ate pizza again. And then the next day, because we were there across the 3 days, I actually had a chicken McMuffin from McDonald's and I had a brownie. I basically ate the whole thing. And I didn't track any of it. And I did not hit my protein targets by any means. And it wasn't a perfect weekend in terms of balance and all of the things. It was unbalanced, if anything, because where is my protein in that and where is all of the things? And that's not everything I ate. Like, that's just the highlights. But I think it's really important to note that I came back 500 grams down. Why? Because I understand nutrition and I didn't eat like... We got some cookies as well. I didn't eat the whole cookie, the whole brownie. My McMuffin, I took the sauce off because I personally don't like sauce. And I took the oil off because I'm like, I don't even need the oil. You know what I mean? So like little smart swaps. But if I just said, oh, I had a McMuffin, which is what social media is so like, you're thinking, how does she have a 500 calorie like McMuffin and then a fucking 500 calorie brownie and I'm eating that and I'm gaining weight, right? So it's really like, what did I swap around in that time? Also, throughout the whole time, I never went for a walk intentionally or anything like that. I still managed about 7,000 steps across both days. Even in the times that we were driving there and stuff like that, I still managed 7,000 steps. So it's like we need to really figure out like where we're still showing up for our goals and doing things and not going like balls to the wall. I'm away for the weekend, I'm gonna eat so fucked up and keep going and feel guilty and all of the things. I didn't even feel guilty. I ate that whole garlic pizza across those 2 days. I didn't even share. I think I shared one slice. The rest was mine. I was like, I'm not sharing. But it's because I understand and can look at it and be like, okay, cool, that's like 150 calories per slice, low key. I ate like 600-ish calories, had the garlic bread, you know what I mean? Then I like kind of know, not that I cared, but it makes it a lot easier. And the reason I can do that, if you're listening to this like, fuck, I want to have that, you need to be in the learning phase first. Don't skip step 1 and step 2 and A to B to try to get to fucking XYZ. Like you need to be learning the start of that first. So that is like really what I'm saying about, I will teach you that if you come into photo shoot ready. That is really important. That's what I do in my one-to-one and I will teach you that. It's really important. I don't want you tracking forever. Ideally, we're in and out of that deficit in 12 weeks. We're going to have the goal of nutrition literacy. We're going to have the goal of that weight loss goal. We're going to have the photo shoot at the end to celebrate. But like truly, the goal isn't becoming obsessed with MyFitnessPal. It's not about getting to a point where you feel like you're controlled by food. It's actually getting to a point where you genuinely know what a balanced meal looks like because you spent enough time learning. You can eat intuitively and with intention and know that you're actually purchasing like a meal that really makes sense. So from the start, week 1 for me, it's never actually about like, we're doing this breakdown, right? It's never about fat loss from week 1. It's actually about collecting data and seeing how your body responds without being perfect, without trying to eat all these salads and track everything perfectly. We just actually want to just put everything in we see. And when I say we see, it is so easy to forget things like oils, butters, sauces, milks in coffees, bites of little snacks here and there. Like I ask for everything. And because I cross-reference a lot of my girls, like they might track and then post a photo of it. I'm like, is there sauce on this? Is there oil on this? I think you've forgotten this. And it's like, fuck, I actually just forgot like 300 calories worth of like food that I consumed and we don't even realize. Starting there is really, really important. Putting everything in and finding that number of like where you're actually at, and then getting you to weigh in multiple times a week. Nothing more than this drives me insane. How am I going to say it? Nothing drives me insane more than like, oh, I've gained 2 kilos. Okay, but because you just did one check-in and you went out for dinner last night and you're having a period and it was a really high sodium salty meal. Like one weigh-in tells me absolutely nothing. I need trends, I need data, no emotions. So if you're someone that just hops on the scale every now and again, you're going to be disappointed over and over and over again. I think it's really important to step on the scale at least 3 times a week, first thing in the morning, after the bathroom, before eating, and see a trend and have a pattern of data. Because right now, you're probably actually not the body weight that you think you are, and you're probably eating more than you think. And before you get defensive, like literally everyone does this, even women who have tracked for years, I can look through their food diaries and there's always something missing, as I said. Just like, a bite here, some of your kids' leftovers, you're hanging out with your niece and nephew and you're like eating food with them. You work in like childcare and like you're eating snacks when they're eating snacks, just little things like that. It's not about catching you out. It's about really building up awareness of like, oh fuck, maybe I am actually just eating a bit more than I realized. And then going into that training piece, I would love to know, if I came with you to the gym tomorrow, would you know what you're training? Would you know what you lifted last week? Would you actually know how you're progressively tracking progression through this week? Or are you just kind of wandering around the gym and hoping for the best and doing what feels good? Because that is not a program, that is exercise, and they're two completely different things. Your body actually changes because of progressive overload. So every week it should be in your mind of going into that session like, can I lift heavier? Can I get another rep in? Can I improve my form and technique? Can I send a video for feedback and get a little nitpick from Jess? Sometimes I will see my clients' form over and over and over again and I'll be like, okay, this is like ridiculous of me, but just move your head down slightly. But I can tell you it's making that form so much better, tenfold. And that is actually why I love structured programs. You need to stop guessing. You want to lose 5 kilos? Perfect. You need a structured program. You need to go in every single week and follow that same workout every single week for 4 to 6 weeks. You need to go in with the mindset of, oh, I did 10 kilos in my RDLs last week. I want to try to do 12 kilo dumbbells this week. If 11 if they have it, but let's be real, they normally jump like 10, 12. Mine are 10, 12 and a half actually. So, going in with the mindset of like, okay, I can't go to the 12 and a halves, but can I get a couple more reps? Like really looking at that. And honestly, I think this is where coaching changes everything, because you can't do everything. You can't do it all alone. You're already busy. You're already working, seeing friends, socializing. You've got family. You're eating with your in-laws one week, eating with your family the other week. Like, you're trying to balance everything, and then you're expected to become your own nutrition coach and programmer on top of all of that. Like, no wonder you actually feel overwhelmed. It's so much easier to just hand off the mental load to someone else, and so you can just show up, not worry about anything else. I say to my girls all the time, I'll worry about the calories, I'll worry about the program, I'll worry about when we need to increase, decrease, whatever needs to be changed. You just need to execute, because I can give you everything, but if you're not prepared to do it, you are not going to see those results that you're wanting. And it's not just like calories aren't the thing that keep you consistent. I actually think it's this thing of like having something to look forward to. I see a lot of girls are very in and out all the time of like, okay, I've locked in, I'm going really hard, and then you completely fall off. It's having a date in mind of like, okay, I've got this thing that I'm working towards. Summer is in X amount of weeks. I'm going to lock in by that time. And trust me, I have been so terrified about things at first. I have been so terrified about even starting my weight loss journey. Like, what's that going to look like? How do I do this? Like, what's the support and all of the things? I was terrified about going to the retreat. Oh my gosh, I'm going to fly interstate to Queensland all by myself. I've never been to the airport solo before. I actually hadn't traveled in like years anyway, even interstate before that. I was like, oh my God, the airport just feels so unfamiliar. I just am feeling like all of the things. I'm going to sit like by myself and like entertain myself. This feels so weird. I nearly didn't go, and then I ended up getting in on like 10 days out. It felt so scary, but I was like, I'm just gonna go anyway. Like, I'm gonna regret not going. I'm gonna see the stories that they post of them having so much fun at the retreat, and I'm going to feel such FOMO. I'm gonna feel so much regret. And I remember, because there was like a cyclone at the time and it got postponed and stuff, and I was like, do you have like another date in mind? And she was like, oh, I'm just kind of working it out, like not yet. And I was like, the possibility of there not being another one was enough for me to be like, I need to go, you know what I mean? And you know what, now she did one more afterwards, and then she had her baby, so there hasn't even been another one. And I was like, one of my friends missed out and wanted to go, and she's like, and now she's not even doing them. I'm like, see, like, imagine if you just pulled the trigger and went, and just like actually got to say like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go do the thing, because there's nothing worse than like it not being run again or something like that and you fully miss out. And that built my confidence to do things like the Sydney CBD photo shoot, which was fucking scary, guys. It's a public area. Everyone was walking through. Everyone was watching me. There's people everywhere. They were going to their 9 to 5. I was there at like freaking 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So it was really like fucking peak hour in the city. It's feeling really awkward thinking everyone was watching, but like actually just doing it anyway. And also realizing afterwards, like literally nobody cared at all. But confidence doesn't actually come first. You can't fake it till you make it. You don't just get confidence. It actually comes from experience and taking action and doing the things scared. And honestly, that is exactly why I built the photo shoot. Not because I care about you having professional photos. Do we need professional photos? No, but it's actually that feeling of being in front of the camera and not feeling like you need to hide, not avoiding the camera, not looking through the photos and wanting to delete them, to not say the thing of like, I'll do it once I lose weight, but never taking action of that. Like imagine actually finishing 12 weeks fully locked in, but not in a way of an all or nothing, but just like I'm showing up for myself day after day and doing the damn thing, having that celebration of being in a private studio, beautiful fucking lighting, no random people walking around. The atmosphere is going to be insane because we're going to like, it's going to be our own little secret space, you know what I mean? Like we're going to have the music, we're going to have the makeup artists, we're going to have all the vibes going on. There's not going to be outsiders looking in. It's going to be the community, the friendships. I actually think you will make so many friends there. It's not going to be random people. It's going to be aligned girls that have the same common interests as you. I'm thinking the music. I'm thinking the cute activewear. Girls hyping each other up. Like content you'll actually want to post. A photo dump for Instagram that you're not overthinking, that you're not contemplating on for an hour. Like a photo where you're actually struggling to figure out which ones you're putting in the dump because they all look so fucking good. The whole day is really just designed to make you feel really proud of what you've achieved and not feel judged or anything like that. And I really just want you to think like if I had 12 weeks right now to lock in, what would that look like? So just to recap it all, build that awareness first, figure out where you're sitting, and then learn how to track from there. We really need to stop guessing and just collect data, take the emotions out of it and look at the almost like black and white, like this is the facts. Following that structured program, really progressing each week in your lifts, having intention behind it all, moving every day and staying really, really consistent, because you don't need another Monday. You don't need another meal plan sitting in your saved folder that you've never revisited, a TikTok recipe that you've never got the chance to try. You don't need to keep saying that I'm going to start at this date and it never happens. You actually just need to make one decision and follow through and then see where you get. See where you get. Stop trying to skip the boring part, do the hard work, and then actually have a celebration at the end. I'm so fucking excited. As I said, I'm going to link it below. I'm actually just so down to talk to you girls about it because I know I've been there. I've been there through all the things. I've been 20 kilos heavier. I know the questions that come up, especially with me for the retreat. I was like, fuck, like, how do I do this? But I am still reaping the rewards of the retreat over a year later. I am still doing the things that I said I wanted to do and having so much almost like payoff like a whole year later. And it's because of what I made out of the experience. So really just want to have a conversation. I'm not in a space of convincing energy. I'm in a space of actually empowering you to realize the full potential you have. And as I said, one of my girls said to me today, if I think on it too long, I'm going to convince myself out of it. So instead of sitting here in your head about it, going back and forth in contemplation, actually have a conversation, bring up your hesitations, bring up the questions and feelings and thoughts that are going back and forth in your head, and have a conversation about it because I would love to see you there. And that is a wrap on another episode of Doing It Anyway. If you enjoyed today's episode, I would love for you to rate it 5 stars, share it with your friends, share it on your stories. And if you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. Please shoot me a DM on Instagram. All my links are below. See you in the next episode.